In this series, we are going to explore adding the Slick Carousel slider by Ken Wheeler to your projects. Now, when or if you use his slider, make sure you credit him in your code, okay? He's put a lot of time into this. This is a serious cool slider, so make sure you give him some proper credit for it. And before we get rolling, also, I just want to point out that often in my demos I use a lot of the artwork by MAX GRUNDY, and he does some really cool stuff, so you might want to check out his site also. All right, now to get started, if we go back to Ken Wheeler's site, you can go ahead and click Get It Now, and you can download the latest version of his slider, or you can go to GitHub and get the code. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here. We'll go just a little bit further. Okay, so you might want to check out the features. This is a pretty feature-rich slider. And then you can also check out individual examples of how this slider can be configured with just basically adding some settings. And if you go down, if we look at our settings, we'll have a whole list of settings which you can explore. Okay? Now, what I should point out here again is you can download directly, and likely you will get the latest version. I also have the files which I'm creating and working from for the demo. These will be available on the class servers. So, as an example, if you're working with the MAT server at MiraCosta, then you can log in, go to my class, and in the demos folder, you will see the demos specific for the Slick slider, and then also a demo, I should say, the Slick slider for working with an HTML editor, and a typical one that you would have on your desktop. And then there's a separate video for how to include or how to place the slider and work with the slider inside of Codepen. All right, so this is also available for the SDSU students for the School of Art and Design. If you go to the Rogue server, then just look inside your class, let's just say the Art 344, and you will see a demos folder, and the demo folders will be inside. And there's also zip files in both places, both servers. Okay? All right, so you can also, if it's easier, let me go ahead and hide these two FTPs. You can also go to the Rogue server and go to our class on the Rogue server, and you'll be able to go to the demos and download the files. All right, so you can take that path if you're if you're using the Rogue server. If you are using the MAT server, then just go to this address you see up here. All right, and you'll be able to get to the demo files easy enough. All right, okay, so let's go back, and once you download your folder, what's important is you're going to be working in a root level like you always do. Okay, let me go back to the demo folder here. So each project has its own root level folder, and what is important is when you download the archive file of mine or of Ken Wheeler's, you're going to see a folder inside labeled Slick. This folder must be in your root level folder. If you copy this folder and place it inside, then all of the code, which we're going to explore next, all the links should work perfectly fine. Okay. Now, I'll also point out there are two HTML files. The first one is we're going to build what is the lazy slider version, and then we will also do a quick modification and turn the lazy slider into the not lazy slider. and we'll explore some of the other slider options. Okay. Lastly, we have our slider minimum code text. This has all of the code for the CSS, for linking to CSS and JavaScript files, for the HTML, and for the JavaScript, which you will need to make the slider function. All right, so there's our basic setup. In the next video, we will begin adding the code to create our slider.